People say you can't unlame yourself. They lied. You can unlame yourself right now. Everything lame about your presentation is learned behavior from the delusional world that you set up for in your own ignorance. Let it go. Return back to original form. Stop playing games with people. Stop getting games played with you, trying to play games with people. That's what happens when you play with people, people play with you. Y'all playing together. Eternal beings designed for abundance and peace. Playing in chaos and war. That's crazy. Let's look at Law 27 real quick, man. 27 lets us know that things will flow best for us in the illusionary presentation of the alternate reality if we play on other people's necessity to believe in something. If we present that something and we're vague in our presentation and we leave out details and there's not really much factual basis or not much power at all inside of our presentation because it's all a ploy to distract those who we've labeled our opponents while we win the imaginary game that's being played. Nobody's even keeping score. You're gonna win an imaginary trophy and ain't gonna be nobody in front of the imaginary podium to celebrate your imaginary win. So you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go back in again and you're gonna keep going and keep striving and keep pushing for something that's impossible to obtain until you realize that you've been trying to accomplish Mission Impossible. And Tom Cruise was always able to pull Mission Impossible off because the writer of the script always wrote it that way. But the crazy part about it is you're not Tom Cruise, but you do have the power to write your own story and watch it unfold as you drafted it. You're not a loser because you took L's. You're not a loser because you came up short once or twice. You're a loser when you don't realize that you have the power and the capacity to win every time you step onto the field. All has been granted to you already. This is not a game. Life is not a game. It's not a challenge. These are not your opponents. These are your reflections. These are your connections. These are your extensions. These are your allies. In truth, they're your allies. In the illusionary world, they're your enemies. In truth, they can propel you and move you forward. In your illusionary world that's driven by your ego, you're always worried about them setting you back and holding you down. The funny thing about looking down on people is you're only bigger than them and you only tower over them when they don't have the awareness of the truth that y'all were created equal, both perfect in design, both whole and loved by their creator, both capable of all things they set their mind to. So instead of letting people look down on you like this and imagining them to be bigger than you in some type of way, you need to elevate your perspective. You need to stop viewing the world through your imaginary lens. Stop looking through the lowly lens of the ego that partners with its home, which is the flesh, which is never in accordance and never will submit to the law of the universe or the law of God that operates and drives the universe. Your ego will never partner with this. Your ego will never fall in line with these teachings. Your flesh will never appreciate and never embrace the truth that is destroying the false sense of power that it has operated with in your lack of awareness. Things don't fall without a war. Kingdoms are not won without a battle. It's the childish aspect of you that you need to release, let go of, and disconnect from. That part of you that wants everything for nothing. The part of you that longs for a return without an investment. That part of you that desires change but wants to hold on to familiarity. You won't arrive at a new destination driving down the same roads. You won't encounter a new, resurrected, regenerated form of yourself, continuing to operate under the same premises and paradigms that you have been partnered with in the past. It will be your new activity in truth that reveals to you a new life. It is absolutely free. It is there. You don't have to purchase it. You don't have to earn it, but you do have to receive it. You do have to take it within your grasp. You do have to allow it to replace the false sense of reality that you have submitted to in the past. You do have to allow the new king, the true king, the one and only king, to overthrow the imagined king that you have given and submitted all of your power to in the past, who you have enjoyed, who you love, who you run to when you're fearful, who you take counsel from when you're under attack or think you're under attack. So it's not the matter of which one is most beneficial. Clearly, only one of them has benefit, but you only have rapport with the illusionary and the delusional. So when you encounter the truth, oftentimes there's a defensiveness, there's a kickback, there's a push from what is not familiar, what is not recognized. And you're always tempted to encounter what is new and define it by what is old so that you can feel the false sense of comfort that you have designed the ego to facilitate. Understand, your ego was created back when things were happening to you out of your control, that you needed the ability to pretend was not going on so that you can be okay. But now that you've put away the childish things, now that denial is not something that you rely on, now that you have truth, now you deny the delusions because you can rely on truth rather than to deny the existence and the reality of things going on factually, so that you can continue to pretend that everything is going all right. The need to pretend ends when you partner with truth, when you meet the true you, when you understand that your identity is set in success. You were designed to prosper. The prosperer lives within you. You and the prosperer are one. One of our major issues is we try to define the heavenly realm by the physical experience that we've had. You think that heaven is just another major corporation like Apple or Microsoft that's constantly trying to get you to buy into new products and new services and trying to sell you on updates, and everything is nothing but a marketing scheme for them to get bigger. You are always suspicious and looking even in the spirit realm for a setup, because you know how manipulative you have been. You know, you say you know how people can be, but you only know how people can be based on how you have been. Talk to me now. Yeah, I know, but eat it, embrace it, because it's the truth. It's a fact whether you agree with it or not. Understand that the things that we talk about here are not for everybody. The things that we discuss here are not for everybody. This place is designed for people who want to know. Ignorance is extended. The chaos is given a place in your life by your desire not to know. See, when you want to know, the teachers show in your life, and they begin to expose to you the things that you have partnered with that have created the dysfunction that you have ran from and ran right into every time. See, you can't run from your miscreations. Pretending that you didn't plant that in your garden, pretending that weed that grew, pretending like it doesn't belong to you, like somebody planted it there other than yourself, other than your negative thinking, other than your relationship with the past, and thinking about a failure experience and recreating it over and over again for yourself. That's the only way it got there, in the garden. Nobody else has room, place, or authority to come into your garden and plant something there for you. They can give you a seed. Somebody can tell you when you're a kid that, oh, you're gonna be a doctor, or you ain't gonna be nothing. You're gonna be just like your daddy. They handed you a seed. What you do with that is on you. If you take that and you plant that into your garden, you take that and you say that they're right, this is who I am, then that will grow in your garden. If you don't plant it, if you discard it because you don't want it to grow in your garden, because you know the power of your attention as it waters whatever seed you have put in the soil, then you don't have to worry about it growing. Only you can plant in the garden that you were given to tend and to keep. What the 8 laws of power say? Play on people's need to believe something. Well, who's playing on your need to believe something? Understand, if they're falling victim to it and you can see it, it's only because you can relate. It's only because you can identify what their picture consists of from what your picture is made of. About instead of playing on people's need to believe something and being vague about it so that we can tower over them with our belief systems and our poorly constructed lies that facilitate our illusions and put us in a position of seeming to be out in front or out ahead or above. How about we stop playing and we rely on our capacity to know all things by partnering with I am on the inside of you. You always worry about whether you're getting tricked or whether somebody's trying to swindle you. You don't have to concern yourself with such foolish things. You know all things because the one who created all things and deposited all knowledge and all power inside of you has never left, never forsaken you, and never will. But you got so many other voices that you be listening to. You be entertaining this legion because the legion is loud and seems like they know what they're talking about. And typically, you end up tricked following the imaginary voices to imaginary destinations that lead you to real dissatisfaction. Because you don't understand that the dissatisfaction comes from the process and not the outcome. You go back into the same process expecting a different outcome. By definition, insane. To be real, I know some of y'all probably thinking like, okay, I get it. Law 27, all of these laws have misled me into or deeper into a false presentation of reality. None of these laws are absolute truth and applicable to universal principles that govern my experience and yours. So why are we still going at it? Why are we still looking at the list? Why are we still coming daily and looking at another low vibrating idea that leads to a low vibrating experience? Why? Because if we really understood that the 48 laws of power were null and void, in reality, we wouldn't be able to identify our partnership with the laws from our day-to-day activity. Understand, you've never done anything that you didn't think was going to benefit you. You were wired, I was wired to be self-centered, selfishly driven, in ignorance. It's not till you understand that all things have been freely given to you that you become generous. You're not going to be generous until you're no longer ignorant that the one who supplies all needs and does not even endorse the idea or concept of the imaginary term that you know as lack or separation. It's not till you know these things that you'll begin to move with the same grace and cheerfulness as you get the opportunity to extend some of the gifts or the spoils and the treasures that the gift that was bestowed on you has created. You'll be happy to give when you stop counting what you'll have left after you're done extending your hand. You'll be quicker to reach in your pocket when you realize that your resources is not tied to what your hands can collect, but rather way more connected to what you believe and what you know of yourself. What are your expectations for yourself? What are your expectations of life? What are your expectations of others? What are your expectations of this universe, existence, God? Whatever your expectations are, whatever your imagination has concocted, it's not as good as the truth is. It looks nothing like reality. It's not based in facts. It's not something that can be relied upon. It's something that you shake, shift, and move around daily so that you're pushed deeper into the ignorance, deeper into the experience of trusting a non-trustworthy individual, which is the imaginary version of you that you created in the dark, that you love so much, because we love everything that we create. But the answer is not playing games. The answer is not trying to tower over people with a false representation of power so that they yield to you because you have none and they believe that they have even less. Nah, the answer is to be truthful. The answer is to extend facts, extend revelations, extend light, extend love, extend understanding, extend the good treasures of this world, and allow those who have developed an appetite to eat at such a table to come and dine with you. See, the crazy thing is, we've been operating as split individuals who want people in their darkness to approve of us as we walk in the light. And that's just not how it works. Your light will offend darkness. Your light don't offend them people. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying to other people, talking about people don't like you because you just done got so good, because you just done got so illuminated, because you're just so knowledgeable now. No, they don't like you because you really do think you know everything. They don't like you because when they're trying to explain something to you, you beat them talking and think you can explain to them what they need to explain to you for you to get an understanding of what the issue is. That's what they don't like. It's not you. You haven't become so godly that earthlings can't stand you. Get out of here with that religious presentation. Get out of here with that TD fakes. Get out of here. No, that's not factual. When you become illuminated, if there was such a thing, because you and light are synonymous, you and light are one, you'll know when you've returned to your position of light. You'll know when you operating from the illuminated state again. You'll know when you're back in the seat of the burning flame, because everything that come in contact with you will burn with you. Everything you touch will become illuminated. That's the secondary consequence of darkness encountering light. It's just that simple. Lock in, stop playing games. Let's rock.